Good morning and welcome to Inside Texoma. Today we're taking an inside look at the Friends of the Wichita Falls Public Library. Right now I'm joined by the president of the organization, Dr. Alan Martin. Welcome to Inside Texoma.
Thank you very much. We appreciate this opportunity to tell the people of Wichita Falls about our little organization.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you tell us about your organization?
Okay. As I understand it, my knowledge is a little bit limited, but the Friends was originally organized in 1998 when the Kemp Public Library staff and the City Fathers decided that we needed a bigger library because the old library was not only getting too small, but the floors were beginning to sag. And so they were concerned about the security of the building as well as the amount of space available. And some people got together who felt that a Friends of the Library organization would show community support for the library, but also help raise money to provide things for the library and help with fundraising to secure a new location and so forth. So that was officially recognized by the IRS in June of 1998. And originally it was set up as a private foundation. And it has stayed that way until 2010. And we rechartered it in 2010 as a public charity. So we are eligible to receive donations and all that. Of course, we were before as a private foundation, but now as a category as a charity, there are other opportunities of fundraising available for us. And that changed our status from just an ordinary 501c3 to what is now a 509a2. Government talk for what you are as an organization. Currently, we have 18 volunteers who fill a 2-hour slot in the bookstore, which is open Monday through Saturday. The hours on Monday through Friday are 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Saturday we're open from 10 until 2 because the library closes at 2:30. We have 7 active substitutes, 12 people who work on special activities, mainly because they can only work on Saturdays. And we have about 38 paid members, some of which are volunteers and others which are just supporters of the Friends of the Library. And these are folks who have given us money to be a paid member, which is a voting membership, but a lot of them are larger donations because of what we do. Most of what we do is to provide funding for things in the library, either programs or in some cases we bought a large play carpet for the children's department. We buy the little shopping carts and baskets that people carry around and put their books in. We bought a motorized wheelchair, and we provided a conventional wheelchair which managed to be available to us, and this kind of as a backup. And we bought the first software and internet hosting a couple of years ago for the summer reading program. That was the first time it was totally online. And the library said that although the software and the internet hosting cost us, I think, $2,650, it saved the library $4,000 in people hours and paper and reproduction costs and that sort of thing. And the other major activity of the Friends of the Library right now is the Dr. Seuss birthday party, which is actually 20% of our budget. The first Saturday of March, we celebrate Dr. Seuss and his birthday by having a party which is free for the children of the community, and they can come in and play games, do craft activities. We have skits, we have celebrity readers who read Dr. Seuss stories to the children. Then we have, of course, birthday cake and punch, and every child gets a free book. And they have a choice of a Dr. Seuss book or another new children's book. And we feel that this is a good activity for children to find out what's inside a book. They find out about some of the activities that are talked about in some of the books. They learn a little bit about Dr. Seuss and all the books that he wrote. And I think there's like 56 of them, quite a few.
And I know you guys also have a lot of book sales on the first Saturday of the month that help support the Dr. Seuss birthday party as well, and a lot of the other programs, right?
Yes, that's something that I inherited. It's been a tradition. The first Saturday of the month is a half-price sale. And when we started getting so many books and setting up a warehouse facility of some sort, we thought after a while, why not sort the books and have them ready to move into the library when we needed books to restock the store, and make them available for sale, at least on the half-price Saturday sale days. The warehouse is open every day by appointment. Anybody that can't come in on the first Saturday, we'll make it available to people, because we want the books to be used. We don't want them to just sit in the warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's really your goal as an organization, is just literacy and getting people into books. I mean, just talk about your goals.
Yes, putting books into the hands of children and young people. We have a lot of ways to do that, and we'll talk about those in a little bit more in depth shortly. But when children are homeschooled, we want them to have books that they might be able to use as references. Or we make those available free of charge, because sometimes homeschoolers just don't have a lot of extra money. We make books available to church libraries and church pastors for the same reason. Mm-hmm. Churches are on tight budgets, but we have all these books that are not being used by anybody. Let's put them out where they can be used.
Absolutely. And I understand in addition to the book sales and the Dr. Seuss birthday party, you're also gearing up for a trunk or treat event as well. That's going to be a bit of a fundraiser, right?
Yes, that's actually sponsored by the United Way. And again, we're looking at putting books into the hands of children free of charge. Every child that comes through will get a book. They can pick out something if they want to take the time to look.
Absolutely. And when is that going to be?
That's October 28th. I'm not sure of the location. It's about somewhere around Kate Burgess Elementary on Maureen Street, what they call East Linwood.
Okay, so definitely want to keep an eye on that. Call the library to get some information as that gets closer. And while we're on the topic of programs, we're going to talk about the Little Free Libraries. So stay tuned to Inside Texoma. We're going to have more information about that coming up right after this break. Welcome back to Inside Texoma, and thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Kakarika, and right now I'm joined by Dr. Alan Martin, president of the Friends of the Wichita Falls Public Library, and Catherine Phillips. And right now we're going to take an inside look at the Little Free Libraries, which is a program that you guys are kind of in charge of. So explain to us how this works.
Well, I would like to ask Catherine to talk about this, because this is something that started before I was aware of it. But once I became aware of it, I thought it was a fantastic idea.
Well, when I worked with North Texas Area United Way as a neighborhood development coordinator, two of our residents, in fact, Cameron and Carlos Williams, brought up the idea of Little Free Library. They had heard about it on a news program. And we took that idea, and through the neighborhood organization and through the help of United Way, we produced the first Little Free Library. And the really cool thing about this is that it puts books in the hands of children. It's accessible 24 hours a day, and in getting the first one here, it brought together all strata of the community, from my stepson at Leidig Hooks. They put together the roof for the Little Free Library. My husband put together the first kit, and we showcased it at Trunk or Treat at Kate Burgess Elementary School, and we had a wonderful time, and just the kids just love it. I mean, kids can come there anytime they like, take a book, bring a book back, and we all said, well, we haven't gotten to the stage of bringing the books back, but we don't mind if the kids keep the books.
So really that's good. How it works. They kind of just come and take books as they please. There's no library fee or anything like that.
Yes.
A more traditional library checkout.
Yes.
Now, how many are there in our area?
8.
Okay, so where are they located?
All around town. There's the one near Kate Burgess Elementary. On the other side of Kate Burgess is the Boys and Girls Club. They have one there. It's on North Beverly Drive and Maureen Street. She has one in her front yard.
Yep.
And that's kind of a community center right there. And Let's see, there's another one over in West Linwood Park, Roanoke and Red Fox, I believe it is, that area. And let's see, there's one on the corner of Harrison and Speedway, which is near Ben Franklin Elementary. I'd stop and think. It's actually in front of a dentist's office because the sponsors that put that one in wanted to make sure that somebody would keep an eye on it and let them know if it got low on books and that sort of thing. And that the lady that did that stopped by our last book sale and bought 14 books to put in it. And we gave her the books and she just made a donation.
I imagine they're fairly recognizable, but you are looking to grow the Little Free Libraries and get more of them, right?
Yeah.
More than just 8?
There's one that's on Greenbrier that's a temporary part-time. It's not registered with Friends of the Library yet, but I think I can convince her to go ahead and register it because two things about the libraries that I did not know originally and have since learned is that they are available in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's on a wagon.
Okay.
Sometimes it travels with retired people who are traveling the country in an RV. And wherever they stop for the night, they put the Little Free Library out on the street next to wherever they park their RV, and they tell people about it, and people can take books and put books in. And then, like this lady over on Greenbrier that has it just available on the weekends because she's not there to supervise it, and she doesn't really have an outside box. She just uses a picnic table. But it's still the concept of making books available to children when another source like the library might be closed or the schools might be closed during the summer, in the evenings, on weekends. And the nice thing about that is if a child is in a mood to read, if they can get their hands on a book, they're going to sit down and read it. But we also make books available for adults in these. Now, I've put in 4 National Geographics in each box. I've put in a Reader's Digest condensed book. We'll see how those go, if they go or not. And in some cases they'll go, in other cases they'll still be there a month later when I go back to check again. But United Way has also helped us with books for younger children because they had this book drive going for books for preschool children that were going to go to the daycare centers. And then the books that were for older children and some of the other things that they got, older books, magazines, other things, they've given to us. And so these are some of the books that we'll have available for the Trunk or Treat program and to put in the Little Free Libraries and make available through the store and the warehouse.
Now, we hear so much about technology and things like that as far as books and the way people get information changing. So is this kind of a unique way to get people back into books and get them reading? I mean, maybe touch on that.
Yes, you know, the kids come together at the Little Free Library, and they talk and discuss things, and it's a positive influence in our neighborhoods. You know, just to get the kids together, and they see it, and well, some shy away, and then the other kids educate them on what it is. Hey, you can go get a book, you know, and this is good. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Western State University. For years, they've had an informal Little Free Library. If you walk in the library to the right in the little break room, there's always some books that have been discontinued that you can get. And I said, well, this is just wonderful. It's a concept, getting the books in the hands of those who will read them. And so bringing it from Dale Carnegie, he wanted free libraries all across the country, to having free libraries in your neighborhood, because some of us don't have transportation. Yeah. Some kids are too young to drive, you know. And just to think, what's on your mind? I can just go and get a book. Well, that's a wonderful choice for a child to have.
Absolutely. And now, do they just open up? I mean, there's no key to even open the little library?
No, you just reach in and get one and close the door.
So it's just totally free. And then now you or a volunteer will come back every month to restock, you said?
Yes. Or if somebody calls and says it's empty. One of the Little Free Libraries is between Scotland Park Elementary and the Child Care Incorporated Child Care Facility across North 5th Street. And they keep an eye on it, and they see a lot of children go down there. There's usually 2 or 3 children together in a group looking through the books. And that's the only one that I have ever found empty. And we put 34 books in it that day and have put more in since then. But the idea of just putting a book out someplace is not all that new. I know there's an internet organization that has a book where you put a little label in there and you can look it up on the internet and find out where it came from and they travel, you know, the books individually travel around the country, and you can track them if you want to. I put a few books out that way myself, but since I've been so involved with the Friends of the Library, that's kind of gone by the wayside. But this program, it really helps our community and our children, and I think that's a good place to start.
Absolutely. I imagine you guys are just very happy that it's been going so well.
Oh, yeah, and you know, you mentioned traveling. If you get on the internet, you can look up the Little Free Libraries. You can see if there's one near you. So if you happen to be outside of your town or in between places, if you're staying in a motel, you could look up our Little Free Libraries and know that they're really close by. So that gives parents some choices.
And speaking of the website, there is a website for more information on Little Free Libraries,
You
right?
know, Little Free Library, singular.org. And they have a map which is outdated because they've exceeded the capacity of Google Maps to put the locations on maps. So they're working on some new software, and they say by the end of the year they should be caught up, and then all of them will be listed. But I would like to mention we have several potential locations. One on Professional Drive near the new Greenbrier Walmart, because that's a huge complex of apartments. One on the front yard of Martin Luther King Center, which is right across the street from the community garden. I couldn't think of a better location. And it's going to be over near the gate to the garden, so it'll be very convenient there. So if the parents bring their children, they can send the children across the street from the garden to see if they can find a book to read. And we're looking at putting one on the playground property next to First Methodist Church on Travis Street, but they're about to rebuild their playground, so we have to wait on that one. And then we've had a couple of other possible locations that haven't been finalized yet.
Definitely keep your eyes out for that.
Right. And if somebody thinks it would be a good location to have one, they should give us a call at the Friends of the Library.
Well, we're going to talk much more about how you can get involved with Friends of the Library and, of course, help them, donations, volunteers, all of that. So make sure you stay tuned to Inside Texoma.